Hey, what is going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good freaking morning, afternoon, and evening to each and every one of you. Yes, indeed. Yes, sir. Another drive time video. What is going on with the market right now? I'm not even sure. What's up with the buyback program? Everybody is, yeah, people don't want to hear about buybacks. This is crazy stuff. I don't know what's up with that BIS information. It's not an article, so whatever is on that BIS.org. But they talk crypto assets groups 1 and 2, and they talk buybacks on that thing. I don't know what it is. It's interesting. Nathan Price put something out about it. Interesting. I don't know. Why is that on the BIS deal there? I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Got to go over it, guys. Got to read it. But it does say crypto assets, and banks or banks buying from non-members, and what the heck? What is that about? It's interesting stuff. It is really, 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 really interesting stuff. And so, is XRP going to be in Group 1? I don't know. Who knows? But in any case, I know a lot of people giving BK a hard time, and I'm like, why? Like, hopium about what? What? It's speculation. He knows it's purely speculation. He knows that. Right? Don't you know it? I know it's speculation. Let the dude have his say. Who knows what's going to happen? Jimmy Valley's got something going on. Who knows what's going to happen? Right? So, but in any case, just wanted to kind of give you guys an update on Celsius Network Recovery Plan. I did a video last night. I didn't upload that video. I will upload it. But it was essentially, or I have my assistant upload it. That video is essentially, look, my take on a 3-hour, Simon Dixon went for 3 hours on a Twitter Space AMA. 3 hours. 2 hours and 45 minutes of answering questions, and kind of a little 15 minutes of whatever. Yeah, interesting stuff. Question and answers. Great Twitter Spaces. And my take from the whole thing is really, it's kind of like prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Prepare. That's the key. Prepare for the worst. And so what he's looking to do is, these plans are in preparation for worst case scenarios of a bankruptcy or some type of insolvency. And I just think that's smart. Again, this guy is a smart guy. He's been in the crypto space since 2010, buying Bitcoin at $3. His firm, BankToTheFuture.com, BNKToTheFuture.com, has invested in over 100 of these crypto platforms: Circle, Tether, BitPay, Securitize for all the XRP fam, Securitize, all of these names you've heard of before. Coinbase. It's just an amazing what he's been able to do over the last 10 years. But he is definitely more on security tokens is the future, and that the vast majority of this space is going to be, the assets are going to be securities. And we all know about the security token offerings, STOs. We know that space has taken forever to materialize, and it kind of is what it is. And ultimately, Celsius Network, Alex Mashinsky, the recovery plan. We don't know what it's going to look like in terms of where is Celsius. We don't know. I find it encouraging that they're paying down these loans. which is, I think, is great. And the hope is that they're just moving to become from being illiquid to liquid. That's the hope. The plan is a preparation for it being insolvent and or having to go bankruptcy. And basically, for my understanding, my take is that Simon is offering and has offered. He offered all of this stuff privately, and was turned over to TradFi, the people that Citi and those people who were working with Alex, and they were the ones who were going to do this IPO that was supposed to happen. So and then when he heard about Goldman Sachs getting involved, when Simon Dixon heard about Goldman Sachs going involved, his words is that I essentially could not, wanted to continue to do anything privately, had to go publicly and garner support from the community on a recovery plan. And now he has a big conglomerate, if you will, of people that are going to back the recovery plan. They're going to back it. So this is essentially billions of dollars that they're going to back this recovery plan to make the depositors whole in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and execute this Bitfinex type recovery plan if that's still a possible situation. And I like the recovery plan. It makes sense. And again, his experience in doing this with Bitfinex and Kraken, you just can't just say, oh, okay. All right, he has experience in doing it. He's done it several times now. And he's got companies constantly reaching out to him. He can't say too much about it. Who are asking him for help. So again, I just want to let people know we can no longer afford to be naive, and that they are coming for your crypto. They're coming for the crypto. Why are there several firms in trouble now? They're coming for it. These are just kind of coordinated attacks. And you just got to understand that I think a lot of us didn't understand that is a real deal, and that happens all the time in traditional finance. And I believe he said it. There was somehow the weakness of Celsius got exposed. It became known. I don't know how it became known. All I know is all of a sudden, after the SEC looked into BlockFi and looked into Celsius, all of a sudden they were in trouble. That's what I do know. And once the weaknesses were exposed, they were attacked. Celsius, without question, was attacked. Simon Dixon even said it. It was three people essentially, kind of going after him, attacking them or whatever. And these things get backed by and or led by hedge funds, okay, that want to take, get Bitcoin on the cheap. And if they can get it on the cheap by downing a company, by just, tearing down that company, that's what they do. And and so I've always said that I believe every company has a weakness to it. I believe traditional finance has major weaknesses to it. Like, for example, a bank. The bottom line is, let me ask you this. If you can go into your bank and everyone goes into the bank at the same time to get their money out, are they going to get their money out? No, right? They're not. Because the money isn't there. Is that a weakness? I think so. And what they rely on is everybody not doing it at the same time. It doesn't mean it's not a weakness. But what if we all got together and decided to go get all of our money out at the same time at one bank? Is that a coordinated attack? Yes, it is. Right? So it's not, someone shouldn't be in a position of weakness. All companies are in positions of weakness. All companies have a weak spot. No one is bulletproof in traditional finance or in crypto. No one is bulletproof No one's bulletproof. So, and it doesn't excuse Alex Mashinsky from the mistakes that he made. Because bottom line is, if you participate in DeFi, you put your assets in jeopardy. Bottom line. If you participate in DeFi, if you're putting up collateral and borrowing against it and all of that kind of stuff, that's what happens, right? And I think for me, the financial weakness, and I'm going to tell you what Simon said as well, the financial weakness, to me, when they got financially weak, to me, I don't know the truth, is when they put up that tens and tens and tens of thousands of Ethereum to help make the Ethereum staking thing go forward. Remember the whole 32 ETH to participate in this staking, ETH Stake 2.0 thing? Remember that? Yeah, they were short. They had to have a minimum requirement of Ethereum, and they were short. Alex was on AMA after AMA telling people how they were short, and he put up the Ethereum. He put it up to make that for the crypto community. For the crypto community. He put it up. And I think that's where they kind of financially put themselves. Now, it's all great when Ethereum was at whatever high price it was at. It's all great. Everything's gravy. But when the market does some things, it does some things. And then you get exposed, and then you're in a position of weakness. Right? So that's the challenge. And by the way, if you listen intently to this AMA, Simon Dixon is saying, they were doing their due diligence because they're the ones who fund and or do the seed funding round for Celsius and a bunch of other companies. And in doing their due diligence, right? So you got to get information from Celsius Network. It stalled in two places. Stalled. So they did a bunch of stuff, turning in info and documents and everything, but it stalled and petered out. This move to do the second fundraising at regulatory compliance and at financials. His words, he said it 3 times. It stalled, it didn't complete, the due diligence did not complete in order to do the fund round. It stalled at regulatory compliance and financials. It stalled. In other words, the paperwork wasn't being turned over to meet the due diligence requirements that Bank to the Future wanted. Regulatory and regulatory compliant and financial. Now, this is the first time that I heard of that. He just said on the last Twitter Spaces, he said, the due diligence stalled. It didn't complete. We didn't complete it. But he never mentioned until this Twitter Space why it did. And it was regulatory compliant and financials. And obviously he can't go into too much detail, but that to me speaks to the fundraising to do that series of fundraising, Series B. Something about the platform was not meeting the regulatory compliance, and something about their finances was not meeting it as well. And it could be Celsius Network not wanting to turn over the paperwork. I don't know, but it stalled there, and those were the 2 areas that stalled in terms of getting more information, more documents. So that has to ring an alarm. And Simon is basically saying that he feels as though Celsius Network went from a peer-to-peer lending platform to venturing into securities with what they were doing, or fractional reserve banking with what they were doing. That's his belief. And again, I just have to lean on his experience of someone who's been doing this type of stuff since 2010. I just think that you can't look, and you know, he has a lot of you know, over 100 companies that he's invested in, right? And so I just think that we can't just ignore it and say blah 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 blah. He's speaking from experience. And you know, for more and more I listen to him, I just take him on his word. That's his experience, that's his opinion. And you know, they probably, if they moved in that direction, it was kind of not knowingly moving into this direction, in terms of you know, really dealing in, quote unquote, if you will, securities. He believes, Simon Dixon said this, he believes any token that is participating in a burning process, that's his belief, is a security. That's his belief. Okay? So he just, you know, he is very much on the securities front. And I know a lot of people in crypto don't want to hear that. But I think it's important to prepare for what could be. And if this space is, you know, if this space is going to be deemed more securities than, you know, commodities, then it's kind of what it is, right? You kind of go that way. So, and we don't know. Again, that's his, that's kind of his deal, and we'll have to find out. But I got to tell you that I was impressed with his knowledge and his experience. Again, you know, I would say somewhere around 3 to 5 successful recovery plans. And the fact that he was able to gather a bunch of investors, he won't tell you how many, to back this recovery plan is impressive. And he also spoke to the fact that he has relationships with regulators, a successful relationship with regulators and FINRA, that just would allow them to move forward with Celsius Network, coming from more of a securities platform. In other words, what is it? Disclosures, full disclosures about what people would be investing in, you know, that type of deal. So yield is a great thing. He acknowledged that yield is a great thing. But he would do it differently. There are things that he would do different with the platform. And bottom line for all of us is, as depositors, we want to be made whole. And I think that's hugely important. And he also said that he believes that the SEC is going to make an example of Celsius. Like, it's a really, really good chance that they're going to try to make Celsius as an example. I did watch a short clip from a panel. It was a 3-person panel, and they said, the one guy in the middle said that Coinbase, for example, has this broker-dealer deal, right? But there's a next step that has to come from FINRA so that they can actually deal in securities, so that Coinbase can actually deal in. So if there's tokens on the platform that are securities, that Coinbase would be able to operate in that kind of mode and create a LEND product. But the guy said that the SEC is not allowing FINRA. How is that possible? I don't know. FINRA has to kind of give some kind of blessing or signing off on something. And the guy said that the SEC is not allowing it. So hopefully I'll get that video uploaded today. I mentioned this in the video as well. So these are the things that, again, the SEC, in my opinion, is doing the bidding of Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. And this guy kind of confirmed that for me, because if Coinbase has, you know, like he said they have the broker dealer, but it's this other part that FINRA has to do in order for them to move forward with their broker dealer, and that the SEC is not allowing them to do that. I don't know how the SEC can do that. cannot allow FINRA to operate. But that's what this guy said, and he sounds really intelligent, and it makes sense to me because the SEC is without question doing the bidding of JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and the rest of them. So recovery plan for Celsius Network. Look, he did the thing with Bitfinex in 9 months, and it was done, like from start to finish, 9 months. Again, he talked to the community. He said that the Bitfinex community was just, it was basically nothing, and that the Celsius community is massive, and that helps in terms of a recovery. That helps. And when you really look at what's going on with the sell short squeeze, the recovery plan, he believes, will be much more successful. He said, I can't guarantee that, but he believes it will be much more successful than Bitfinex recovery plan was. And Bitfinex recovery plan was massive for those who took the risk of the company recovering. I mean, he said it was massive. So for me, that's the only hope. Obviously, besides Celsius becoming, kind of stating and they're liquid now and whatever, all of that. Because then you would get full access to your money. You don't have to do recovery plans and wait 9 months, this type of deal. And he said that, hopefully that's the case, that they're just working on the liquidity issue. He doesn't believe that they're illiquid. He believes they're insolvent. That's his belief. So, the sooner we know, the better. But I'm glad that there is a recovery plan in place that will step in ahead of TradFi and what Goldman's and the likes of Goldman want to do, which is basically sell your crypto for cheap, and then downward move the market even more to get more stuff for cheap. So it's a nasty thing that they're wanting to do. So it's better to have a plan in place. And so I can't speak to how it looks. I can't speak to what I think it is going to be. I really don't know. Here's what I will tell you. I know that Celsius is paying down loans. I know that they got that liquidation price on their wrapped Bitcoin down to under $5,000. From what was it, 14? To get it under 5,000 is obviously a good thing, but it doesn't mean that they're not insolvent. And that's the challenge. This is a standard thing, and in a situation that could be a bankruptcy. This is a standard thing to kind of pay things down. So that's what I know. Now, what I think is, I think it's better to have a plan in place for insolvency and or bankruptcy. And now we have a plan in place. I definitely, I would encourage you to go to bnk2thefuture.co/Celsius, bnk2thefuture.co, co. It's not .com. He kept saying .com on the Twitter Spaces, but I believe it is .co/Celsius, and fill out some stuff. If you're a depositor, if you own Cell, if you have shares in the company, and fill that stuff out. Let them know, let your voice be heard, because he's taking, he's kind of taking the stuff from the community. And oh, by the way, this is a really, really big one. After getting input on suggestions from the community, his team at Bank to the Future came up with a plan in the recovery plan that will allow for non-accredited U.S. investors. Yeah, and so that is a really, really big deal. To be treated just like the accredited investor is going to be massively important going forward with this recovery plan. Because there's a lot of people that are just U.S. non-accredited that are on that platform, right? And they have some Cell token and they have some deposits there. So it's good that he took the feedback from the community, and he went to his team and they came up with something. Again, this is a team experienced in recovery plans, and working with securities and the whole 9 yards. And I think it's important to be in that position to have that experience. So, and now I can tell you my hope and prayer. My hope and prayer is that Celsius Network, Alex Mashinsky, is moving from illiquid to being liquid. And if that's the case, change a few things in their model. Learn from these lessons, this potential lesson, and move forward. That's my hope and prayer. But I just think it's smart, like Simon Dixon says, is to be prepared for the worst. Just be prepared. And thank God this is not a complete losing cause where we would just lose and get get pennies on a dollar for the crypto that's deposited. Thank God he stepped in. Thank God. And so who cares if you got to wait 9 months or a year or a year and a half? I don't care. Honestly, I do not care. If there's a recovery plan in place and a shot for being made whole, even with a quote-unquote haircut, as he likes to call it, I'm good with it. I am 1,000% good with that. A haircut is a lesson learned, but a complete wipeout is a massive lesson to have to be learned. So that's kind of where I am with that, guys. Oh wow, yeah, I've been going a while now. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of let you guys know what's going on. It's kind of my 2 cents on the take. Guys, be easy on BK. Take it easy on BK and the buyback program. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this, that old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I are already winning. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.